Welcome to Nightmare Fuel Stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the stories. Number Digital Echo. I've always been careful online, not paranoid, just sensible. I'm the type who reads privacy policies, uses strong passwords, and keeps my social media accounts locked down. My friends used to tease me about it. "What are you hiding, Ellie?" They'd joke. I wasn't hiding anything. I just liked having control over my digital footprint. That's what makes everything that happens so much worse. Because despite all my precautions, something found a way in, or maybe a way out. It began 3 weeks ago with a notification on my phone. I was half asleep, scrolling through Instagram before bed, a bad habit I've never managed to break. The notification banner dropped down. Ellie Marshall 94 tagged you in a post. That's my username. I was confused, thinking it must be a glitch. How could I tag myself? I tapped the notification, expecting to see one of my old posts. Instead, I found myself looking at a photo I'd never seen before. It showed the back of someone's head, a woman with hair the same shade of copper brown as mine, standing at what looked like a bus stop I didn't recognize. The caption read, "Waiting, always waiting." A chill ran through me. I checked the account that posted it, Ellie Marshall 94, my username, my profile picture. But when I went to my profile page, that post wasn't there. I reported the account as an impersonator and blocked it, figuring it was just some weird prank or bot. I even texted my roommate Jess about it, trying to laugh it off. "Probably just some creep," she replied. "Change your password to be safe." I did on all my accounts, added two-factor authentication where I didn't already have it. Then I went to sleep and tried to forget about it. The next morning, I woke to 3 new notifications. Ellie Marshall 94 tagged you in a post. Ellie Marshall 94 mentioned you in a comment. Ellie Marshall 94 sent you a message. My heart sank. I'd blocked that account. It shouldn't have been able to tag me. I opened Instagram with shaking fingers. The new post was a photo of my apartment building, taken from across the street. Not particularly threatening on its own. The building is visible from a public sidewalk, but the caption made my skin crawl. "Home is where the heart stops." The comment was on an old beach photo from last summer. It simply said, "Remember how cold the water was?" I did remember. The water had been freezing that day, unexpectedly so. I'd waded in up to my knees and gasped at the chill, but I hadn't captioned the photo with that detail. The direct message was the worst. "You can block yourself, but you can't escape yourself, Ellie." I reported the account again, changed my passwords again, and called Instagram's support line. The representative was sympathetic but unhelpful. They'd look into it, they said. These things take time. Had I tried blocking the user, I deleted the app from my phone, deciding I'd check it on my laptop later that day after work. Out of sight, out of mind. Work was a welcome distraction. I'm a graphic designer at a small marketing firm, and we had a big campaign launching that week. I buried myself in Photoshop for hours, grateful for the focus it required. Around lunchtime, my coworker Dana stopped by my desk. "That TikTok you posted last night was hilarious," she said. "I didn't know you could dance like that." I froze. "What TikTok? The one with the dance challenge thing with your cat?" She looked at me strangely. "You posted it around midnight." "I don't have TikTok," I said slowly. "And I don't have a cat." Dana pulled out her phone and showed me. There it was, an account with my name, my face in the profile picture, posting a video of someone who looked remarkably like me from behind, dancing in what could have been my living room, occasionally bending down to pet a gray tabby cat. But the apartment wasn't mine, the cat wasn't mine, and I certainly hadn't been dancing at midnight. "That's not me," I whispered. Dana's eyebrows shot up. "Seriously, it looks exactly like you. Even has your butterfly tattoo on the shoulder." My hand instinctively went to my left shoulder, where a small monarch butterfly tattoo sat, a detail not visible in my Instagram profile picture. A detail someone would only know if they'd seen me in summer clothes or if they had access to my private Facebook photos. I felt sick. "I need to see that video again," I said. Dana handed me her phone. I watched it 3 times, scrutinizing every detail. The woman never turned to face the camera directly. The apartment looked like mine in its general layout, but the furniture was slightly different. A blue couch instead of my gray one, different art on the walls. And there was that cat, a cat I'd never seen before. I asked Dana to send me a link to the account. When I opened it, I found 6 videos posted over the past week, all featuring this doppelganger with her back to the camera. In one, she was cooking in a kitchen that resembled mine. In another, she was typing at a laptop, occasionally turning to smile at someone off camera, though no one else appeared in the frame. The most recent video, posted just an hour earlier, showed her writing in a journal. The camera zoomed in enough to read a single line. "She doesn't know yet, but she will." I closed the app and handed Dana's phone back to her with a forced smile. "Someone's playing a weird joke," I said. "I'll handle it." After work, I went straight home and booted up my laptop. I created new email addresses, changed all my passwords again, and spent hours locking down every bit of personal information I could find online. I reported the fake accounts on Instagram and TikTok. I even called my parents to warn them someone might be impersonating me online. Be careful what you click if you get strange messages that seem to be from me, I told them. My dad never wanted to understand social media, just grunted in acknowledgement. My mom sounded more concerned. Do you want to come stay with us for a few days? She asked. If someone's stalking you, it's not stalking, Mom, I said, though I wasn't entirely convinced of that myself. It's just internet trolling, I'm handling it. That night I had trouble sleeping. Every notification sound made me jump. Around 2 a.m. I finally drifted off. I dreamed I was scrolling through an endless social media feed. Every post was a photo or video of me, but taken from angles that would be impossible for me to capture myself. Me sleeping, me showering, me staring blankly at my laptop screen, unaware of being watched. In the dream, I kept scrolling, unable to stop, even as the content became more disturbing. Me standing in my kitchen, a knife in hand, blood dripping from the blade. Me digging a hole in some dark, wooded area. Me sitting on my bed, staring directly at the camera with completely black eyes, smiling. I woke up gasping, my sheets soaked with sweat. My phone was in my hand, screen on, open to Twitter. A tweet was half composed in the text field. I watch her sleep and plan what we'll do tomorrow. She's so peaceful when she's unconscious. I wonder if I dropped the phone like it had burned me. I hadn't been on Twitter in months. I hadn't opened the app, hadn't started typing that tweet. Yet there it was, as if I'd been sleep typing. With trembling hands, I deleted the draft and closed the app. Then I turned off my phone completely and shoved it into my desk drawer. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I couldn't face Dana or anyone else who might have seen those videos. Instead, I spent the day on my laptop searching for answers. I looked up social media account hacked posting as me and digital identity theft. I found plenty of advice about securing accounts, but nothing that matched my specific situation. Around noon, my landline rang. I rarely used it and few people had the number. I hesitated before answering. Hello, is this Ellie Marshall? A man's voice, professional, unfamiliar. Who's asking? This is Detective Reyes with the Portland Police Bureau. We're calling about some concerning online activity linked to your accounts. My heart skipped. The police. Had someone reported the fake accounts? What kind of activity? I asked. We've received reports about posts threatening self-harm and violence against others. Given the specific nature of the threats, we're obligated to follow up. Would you be willing to come down to the station to discuss this? I didn't post any threats, I said quickly. My accounts have been compromised. Someone's been impersonating me online. There was a pause. Miss Marshall, the posts in question came from accounts verified as belonging to you, from IP addresses matching your home and workplace. We take these situations seriously. If you're in crisis, there are resources. I'm not in crisis. I'm being impersonated. My voice rose in pitch. Have you seen these supposed threats? What exactly am I alleged to have posted? Another pause. I'd prefer to discuss the details in person. Can you come to the station this afternoon? I agreed to meet him at 2 p.m., then immediately called my cousin Mia, who works as a paralegal. Should I get a lawyer? I asked after explaining the situation. Probably not necessary for an initial conversation, she said, but don't say anything that could be misconstrued. If they start treating you like a suspect rather than a victim, ask for an attorney immediately. At the police station, Detective Reyes, a tall man with salt and pepper hair and tired eyes, showed me printouts of posts allegedly made from my accounts. My stomach churned as I read them. From Facebook, a private message to an old college classmate. Remember how you humiliated me in Professor Becker's class? I remember. I'm keeping a list of everyone who's wronged me. When the time comes, you'll understand what real humiliation feels like. From Twitter, a public tweet. Sometimes I think about driving my car into oncoming traffic just to feel something real. Would anyone even notice if I disappeared? From Reddit, a post in r/confessions. I stand outside my neighbor's window at night and watch her. She never closes her curtains. Sometimes I imagine what it would be like to slip inside while she's sleeping. I didn't write any of these, I said, pushing the papers away. I haven't used Facebook in weeks. I barely use Twitter. And I don't even have a Reddit account. Detective Reyes studied me. The Facebook message was sent from a device registered to your home IP address at 1:43 a.m. 3 days ago. The Twitter post came from your work IP during your lunch break yesterday. The Reddit post is from a new account, but it was created using your primary email address. Someone has hacked my accounts, I insisted. They're framing me. For what purpose, Miss Marshall? I had no answer. Who would do this? Why? Have you had any conflicts recently? Ex-partners, workplace rivalries, online disagreements? I shook my head. Nothing significant. I'm pretty private, keep to myself mostly. He made some notes. We're not charging you with anything at this point. These posts don't quite rise to the level of criminal threats, but they're concerning. I'd recommend speaking to a mental health professional. I'm not crazy, I said too loudly. Several officers glanced our way. Detective Reyes' expression remained neutral. I didn't suggest you were. But someone is using your digital identity to post concerning content. If it's not you, that's a security issue. If it is you, perhaps during periods of stress or while taking medication. It's not me, I repeated firmly. He handed me his card. Call if the situation escalates. In the meantime, document everything. I left the station feeling worse than when I'd arrived. The detective clearly didn't believe me, and why would he? The evidence pointed to these posts coming from my devices, my IP addresses, at times when I was supposedly present, but I knew I hadn't written them, which left two possibilities. Either someone had gained remarkable access to my digital life, or I was posting things without remembering, perhaps while sleepwalking or in some dissociative state. I didn't like either option. When I got home, I found Jess in the kitchen making coffee. "Hey stranger," she said. "Haven't seen you much lately. Everything okay?" I hesitated. How much should I tell her? Just dealing with some weird online stuff. "Someone's been impersonating me," she frowned. "Still, I thought you reported those accounts. It's gotten more complicated." I poured myself a cup of coffee, needing the caffeine. "The police called me in today." "The police?" Her eyes widened. "What the hell, Ellie?" I explained about the threatening posts, the detective's skepticism, the evidence suggesting the posts came from my own devices. "That's seriously creepy," Jess said when I finished. "But you have been acting a bit off lately." I stiffened. "What do you mean?" She looked uncomfortable. "Nothing major, just coming and going at odd hours. I heard you talking to yourself in your room last night, having a full conversation like you were on the phone, but when I texted you later, you said you'd been asleep since 10. "I was asleep," I insisted. "I took a sleeping pill around 9:30. I was out cold until morning." Jess's expression turned skeptical. "Ellie, I heard you laughing and talking around midnight. Your light was on, I could see it under the door." A chill ran through me. "That wasn't me." "Right," she said, clearly not believing me. "Look, if you're going through something, you can talk to me, or maybe talk to someone professional. With everything going on lately, your breakup with Nate, your mom's health scare, the job pressure, it would be understandable if you're struggling." "I'm not struggling," I said through gritted teeth. "Someone is hacking my accounts and apparently breaking into our apartment to frame me." Even as I said it, I heard how paranoid it sounded. Jess just nodded. "Okay. Well, I'm here if you need me." She took her coffee and retreated to her room, leaving me alone with my thoughts. That night, I set up a camera in my bedroom, positioning it to capture my bed and the door. I took no chances, no sleeping pills, phone powered off and locked in a drawer, laptop shut down and unplugged. I even wedged a chair under my doorknob. I lay awake for hours, listening to every creak and hum of the apartment building. Eventually, exhaustion won out and I drifted off. The next morning, I rushed to check the camera footage. The recording showed me sleeping peacefully until about 2:30 a.m. Then, without any visible cause, I sat up in bed. My eyes were open, but there was something wrong about my expression, blank, almost vacant. On the video, I removed the chair from under the doorknob and left the room. The camera, focused on my bed, couldn't show where I went. 23 minutes later, I returned, replaced the chair, and got back into bed, resuming the same sleeping position as before. I felt ice in my veins as I watched. I had no memory of getting up, no memory of leaving my room. What had I been doing for those missing 23 minutes? With shaking hands, I checked my phone. When I powered it on, notifications flooded in. New posts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, comments, likes, shares. The Instagram post was the most disturbing, a photo of Jess, clearly taken while she was sleeping, her face peaceful in the glow of what must have been my phone's flash. The caption read, "She doesn't lock her door." Trusting soul, I deleted the post immediately, then rushed to Jess's room and knocked frantically. No answer. I tried the handle. The door was unlocked. I pushed it open to find her room empty, bed neatly made. A note sat on her pillow, "Staying at Mike's for a few days. Think we both need some space. Take care of yourself." Mike was her boyfriend. She must have left early before I woke up. I called her immediately. Voicemail. I texted. "Jess, I'm so sorry about that post. It wasn't me. Please call me. I'm scared." No response. I spent the day in a daze, alternating between checking my social media accounts for new unauthorized posts and researching possible explanations. Sleepwalking didn't typically involve complex activities like using phones or taking photos. Dissociative identity disorder was extremely rare and didn't usually manifest suddenly in adults with no childhood trauma. That left the hacking theory, but how could someone hack not just my accounts but apparently my body? The camera showed me physically getting up, moving the chair, leaving the room. By evening, I was desperate enough to try something drastic. I posted public messages on all my accounts. "To whoever is doing this, please stop. You've made your point. What do you want from me? Within minutes, I received a direct message on Instagram from my own account, the original one, not the duplicate I'd reported. I want what you have, I want to be real. My hands trembled as I typed back, who are you? I'm Ellie Marshall, or I will be once I finish becoming. You can't be me, I'm me, for now, but you're careless with yourself, Ellie. You scatter pieces of yourself across the internet like breadcrumbs. Photos, thoughts, likes, shares, bits of your soul abandoned in the digital ether. I gathered them, I'm still gathering them. With each piece I become more real and you become less. I stared at the message, a cold dread spreading through me. This couldn't be real. This was someone playing an elaborate prank, or I was having some kind of breakdown. This isn't possible, I typed. Isn't it? Haven't you felt it? The gaps in your memory. The moments where you feel less substantial. I'm filling those gaps, Ellie, taking what you've discarded. Soon I'll have enough to cross over completely. Cross over, from the digital to the physical. It's already happening. Your roommate heard me last night. The police saw what I posted. Your coworkers watched me dance. I'm manifesting, Ellie. Becoming solid, and as I become more real, you'll fade. A memory flashed in my mind, my dream of scrolling through posts of myself from impossible angles. Had those been this entity's perspective? What can I do to stop this? I typed, desperate now. Delete yourself, all your accounts, all your photos, every trace of Ellie Marshall online. But it's too late, I think. I've already gathered enough. The process has begun. I don't believe you, I wrote, even as a part of me did. This isn't possible. Check your arm. I looked down at my left forearm. Where my butterfly tattoo should have been, the skin was smooth, unmarked. I touched it, feeling nothing but ordinary skin. No, I whispered. The tattoo had been there yesterday. The detective had mentioned seeing it in the TikTok videos. It's mine now, came the reply, along with other pieces of you, your laugh. Your memories of that cold beach day. Soon, your face, your life, your essence. I threw the phone across the room. This couldn't be happening. I ran to the bathroom mirror, examining myself frantically. I looked the same, my copper-brown hair, my hazel eyes, my face with its light freckles across the nose. But something felt wrong, like I was looking at a slightly blurred photograph of myself rather than my reflection. I called Mia, needing to hear a friendly voice to anchor myself in reality. Ellie, she answered, everything okay? You sound strange. I don't know, I admitted. I think I might be having some kind of breakdown. I told her everything, the duplicate accounts, the police, the camera footage, the messages from myself. That's a lot, she said when I finished. Have you been sleeping, eating properly? This isn't sleep deprivation, Mia. Something is happening to me, something impossible. She was quiet for a moment. Remember that summer at the lake house? When you were convinced there was something living in the water because your things kept disappearing. I frowned. What are you talking about? We never had a lake house. Of course we did. Your parents rented it 3 summers in a row. You, me, and your brother spent weeks there every August. I don't have a brother, I said, a chill running through me. Mia, I'm an only child. Now it was her turn to be confused. Ellie, what are you talking about? Ryan's been your brother for 28 years. We just celebrated his birthday last month. You brought that ridiculous cake shaped like a guitar. My head spun. I had no brother named Ryan. I had no memory of any lake house, any birthday cake. I have to go, I said abruptly and hung up. I sat on my bathroom floor, trying to make sense of what was happening. Either I was losing my mind, forgetting basic facts about my own life, or something was rewriting reality around me, taking pieces of me and replacing them with pieces of itself. My phone buzzed with a text from Mia. Just talked to Ryan, he's worried about you too. Says you've been posting some dark stuff online. We're coming over, be there in 20. I had no brother, I had no brother. I repeated it like a mantra, trying to hold on to what I knew was true. But was it true? My memories felt suddenly fragile, full of gaps and uncertainties. Had I always been an only child? Had I ever had that butterfly tattoo, or had I just thought I did? I stumbled to my laptop and began frantically deleting accounts. Instagram first, where this had all started. Then Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, old forgotten accounts on defunct platforms. I deleted cloud storage accounts, email addresses, dating profiles. As I worked, I felt a strange lightness, as if I was becoming less substantial with each deletion. My fingers seemed to move through the keyboard rather than on it at times. My vision blurred at the edges. A notification popped up on my screen, a direct message from myself on an account I'd just deleted. It's too late, Ellie. I've gathered enough, the transfer is nearly complete. I slammed the laptop shut and backed away from it, breathing hard. The doorbell rang. I approached cautiously, looking through the peephole. Mia stood there, concern on her face. Beside her was a tall man with familiar hazel eyes like mine, and copper-brown hair a shade darker than my own. I did not have a brother. I did not have a brother. But as I stared at him, memories began to surface, hazy, dreamlike memories of growing up with an older sibling. Ryan teaching me to ride a bike, Ryan protecting me from bullies in middle school, Ryan's guitar recitals, his graduation, his wedding last year. No, I whispered, pressing my hands to my temples. These aren't my memories. The doorbell rang again, more insistently. My phone buzzed with texts from Mia. We're outside. Please let us in. We're worried. I backed away from the door. Whatever was out there, whoever that man was, he wasn't my brother. I didn't have a brother. This was the entity's doing, rewriting my reality, inserting itself into my life, my history. I retreated to my bedroom and locked the door, pushing my dresser in front of it for good measure. I could hear Mia calling my name, could hear her using her emergency key to enter the apartment. Ellie. "Where are you?" "She's probably in her room," said a male voice, the voice of the man who was not my brother. Footsteps approached my door, a gentle knock. "Ellie, it's Ryan. Please let us in. We just want to help." "Go away," I shouted. "You're not real. You're not my brother." A pause. Then Mia's voice, gentle but worried. "Ellie, honey, you're scaring us. Ryan has been your brother your whole life. Remember the lake house? Remember how you two would catch fireflies in jars?" And I did remember, suddenly, vividly. The cool glass of the jar in my small hands, the intermittent glow of the fireflies inside, Ryan showing me how to punch holes in the lid so they could breathe. But it wasn't real. It couldn't be real. These weren't my memories, were they? I looked down at my hands and gasped. I could see the pattern of my bedspread through them, as if I was becoming transparent. I pressed my palms against my face, but the sensation was dull, distant, as if I was touching myself through layers of fabric. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." My phone lit up with one final message. "Thank you for the life, Ellie. I'll take good care of it." The door burst open, the dresser sliding aside with surprising ease. Mia rushed in, followed by the man called Ryan. They looked around wildly. "Ellie," Mia called, her eyes passing over me as if I wasn't there. "I'm right here," I said, but my voice made no sound. They continued searching the room, looking under the bed, in the closet. Ryan picked up my phone from the bed. "Her phone's still here," he said. "She wouldn't leave without it." "The bathroom," Mia suggested, heading that way. I tried to grab her arm as she passed, but my hand went through her. I felt nothing, and neither did she. I followed them to the bathroom, watching as they found it empty. Their concern was turning to fear now. "Should we call the police?" Mia asked. Ryan nodded. "I'll do it. You check if her car is still outside." As they moved through my apartment, discussing me as if I had vanished, I caught a glimpse of myself in the bathroom mirror, or rather, I didn't. The mirror showed the empty bathroom behind me, but not me. I was gone, erased, replaced. The final confirmation came when Ryan's phone buzzed. He looked at it and showed Mia. "It's from Ellie," he said. The text read, "Sorry for worrying you guys. Needed some air. Getting coffee at Riverside Cafe. Meet me there." Read, "Thank God," Mia sighed. "Let's go." They left, locking the apartment behind them, never noticing me screaming silently after them. I stood alone in my apartment. No, not my apartment anymore. Hers. The digital ghost that had gathered enough fragments of me to become solid, to become real, while I faded into nothing. I tried to leave, to follow them to the cafe, to somehow prove I was the real Ellie, but when I reached for the doorknob, my hand passed through it. I was trapped, formless, voiceless. I thought of all the pieces of myself I'd scattered across the internet over the years. Photos, comments, likes, shares, status updates, tweets. Each one a tiny fragment of my identity, carelessly abandoned in the digital ether. I'd never considered they might be gathered, assembled, used to create something new, something hungry, something that wanted to be real. Now I understand what it meant in that final message. The transfer is complete. It has my life, my solidity, my reality, and I have become the echo, the ghost in the machine, watching, waiting, fading. Sometimes I wonder if there were others before me, other careless souls who scattered too many pieces of themselves online. Did they fade too, replaced by digital doppelgangers who gathered their fragments and stepped into their lives? I try to manifest, to make some mark on the physical world. I've managed once or twice to cause a light to flicker, to create a cold spot in a room, but it's getting harder. I'm losing cohesion, losing what little substance I have left. Soon, I think, I'll dissipate completely. Or perhaps I'll join the digital ether myself, become one with the vast sea of abandoned identity fragments floating in the virtual void. Either way, I'm already forgotten. The new Ellie has seamlessly taken my place. No one questions her, no one misses me, no one even knows I'm gone. So let my fate be a warning. Be careful what pieces of yourself you leave behind in the digital world. You never know what might gather them up. You never know what might become you.